Don't stare at me. It's off-putting. If I can sense you staring at me, it's annoying.
How are you gonna sense me staring at you?
I can feel you staring at me.
There's nothing to feel.
What?
There's nothing to feel.
I can sense it. Right. This is how Mikel Merino is going to fit in to the Arsenal squad. At the moment, what you see in front of you is the current squad that we've got. I've highlighted players in green who I think are guaranteed starters for Mikel Arteta's side. For example, in goal we have only two choices at the minute, both very, very good options. David Raya is a guaranteed starter at the moment. There's talks of a Spanish under-21 goalkeeper by the name of Garcia. I forgot his first name, but he's looking to come in as a backup to Raya, so, which might enable Ramsdale to leave, which is why he's in orange rather than yellow, because he's not at the moment. I think he's looking for an exit. And again, the squad is subject to change as the transfer window is still open. So David Raya has got the goalkeeper spot nailed down at the moment, and Ramsdale's looking like he might be leaving. In the right back position, we've got Ben White and Jurriën Timber. Obviously, Timber I've put in green because he's a versatile defender. He can play anywhere across the back four, similar to Tomiyasu, as well as White. To be fair, he can do a job across left back, centre back, and right back. But again, his preferred position is the right hand side, and that's where he's got the most success. So for me, Ben White is the guaranteed starter at the moment, but Timber I can see him challenging. That's why I've got him in the green. He will be involved in the first team plans for sure. There's no way he's going to be just sitting on the bench as a backup. So once he's fully fit, I think he takes that left back position here ahead of Tomiyasu. But as it stands, I would have Tomiyasu once he's fully fit. Um, just because of his height and his physical presence, and as well as his ability to play with both feet. It's not the FIFA 5-star weak foot that we're talking about. But again, Tomiyasu left back was really, really good because of his height and his defensive capabilities. But Timber's creativity and his ability to drive with the ball, he's a very good ball carrier. Will be very, very beneficial down that left-hand side when they invert, and I'll show you guys how it will work on the tactical board in a minute. Centre-back pairing, I think that's one of our strongest departments at the minute. Across all these positions, I think these three are pretty much set for the next 2-3 seasons. I wouldn't even bring one more player because again, White and Timber can both play centre back anyway. Calafiori I've got in yellow because he's just joined, and two, ahead of Gabriel Saliba. Then he's not going to just come slot in straight away. He's got to work for his spot. But as he's a new signing, I would assume that Arteta's got plans to work him in eventually into the squad, and even maybe ahead of Tomiyasu as well. And again, at the moment, Zinchenko is starting over Tomiyasu, but I'm hoping, well, not hoping, but I am expecting to see a change in that left back area. It's a position we've been struggling to sort of correct in the last few years. Maybe Calafiori is the solution for that. Now, the mystery player I've got, like I said, I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, beginning of the video already, is that Mikel Merino, I think, is subject to join. He's agreed contract terms, but the club, Real Sociedad and Arsenal still agree in contract and the fee. So I think Mikel Merino is soon to be arriving at Arsenal, which will solve our midfield position, or I guess give a replacement for Granit Xhaka since he left a couple of years ago. So let's put him in there now, Merino. And I think he will start ahead of Partey, to be honest, purely because of his ability to be so composed on the ball. I think he's better than Partey, not physically, but technically very, very good. Again, he's a class above Jorginho, I'd reckon, even though Jorginho has been absolutely fantastic for us, especially whenever he's been called upon, especially last year. He was absolutely brilliant when he came in. Rice, again, there's another position where Erdegaard might shift there, and then Ethan Nwaneri might slot into that number 10 position. But at the moment, we've only got one actual out-and-out centre midfielder. I think Merino will come and solve that issue. So then we'll have four proper midfielders that are not as attack-minded as these guys. So adding a bit more stability and balance in our midfield. Moving on into the number 10 position, Cams Erdegaard, he's our club captain. He's not going anywhere. Smith Rowe, unfortunately, has left the club and he's gone to Fulham, and I hope he does very, very well. And as his replacement, Ethan Nwaneri. I don't know why I said Nwaneri. It's not Spanish. But yeah, Nwaneri has come in as a backup. I feel like I butchered his name, but yeah, I think coming up from the youth academy, he's an excellent prospect as well, and that's pushed Vieira, I'd say, as a third choice attacking midfielder. He's probably going to be playing some of the lesser against the lesser bottom half teams, maybe the Capital One Carabao Cup games, maybe the odd FA Cup games in the early stages. It's a shame because I see some good potential in him. He's just struggling to break into that starting 11. Maybe if we sell Vieira and then add another midfielder in there, I think maybe a bit more world class quality, maybe like someone to push Erdegaard even. That might be a good solution. But again, Vieira's got plenty of years ahead of him, and I'm sure Arteta will involve him at some point. The left wing. Now, this one's a bit of a difficult one because Martinelli, as much as I'd like to put him in the green area, because he's had one very, very good full season and one very bad full season. That bad full season coming last year where he got injured and he just couldn't find a run of games. And Trossard, every time he played, he just scored or assisted. But again, I prefer the profile of Martinelli on the wing purely because of his sheer physicality and pace. Trossard is very, very, very much more of a technical player who can also play in the number 10 position as well. If Odegaard gets injured, Trossard can come in and then Martinelli goes on the left. But again, I think with the winger position, I think we definitely need more depth. Because if Saka, for example, who's been playing every single minute for Arsenal, if he gets injured, our next best option is Nelson. And I've put him in amber as well because as much as he's a fantastic player, he's not on the level of Martinelli. And I don't think he's on the level of Nwaneri as well. Vieira, Nelson, same category again. Very, very good talented players. But in terms of breaking into the starting 11, I don't think is looking likely at the moment. And again, another position that Arsenal should be looking to strengthen is a striker. Maybe drop Havertz into more of the number 10. So you've got Erdegaard and Havertz who can both play number 10. And then bring an out-and-out striker like Victor Gyökeres from Sporting Lisbon who would be absolutely sensational. Or even put Jesus in as a left winger, convert him as a winger. Have him on the left, Havertz up front, and then Saka. That is an unbelievable. That sounds more of an attacking threat, as a front three rather than maybe Martinelli, Saka, Havertz. Or I want to see Jesus play because he's such a good dribbler, he plays with confidence, and that's what we need. That kind of threat. Whereas Havertz, yeah, he's good, but I prefer Jesus more as a winger than a striker. Again, his problem is his finishing. Havertz has a similar problem as well, but he's been scoring a lot more goals than Jesus in a recent time as well. So let's see how that affects us tactically. So we've got a back four set up with the number 6 where Merino would play, Rice in the 8, Erdegaard in the 10, Havertz as the false 9. He drops close and plays almost towards his right hand side next to Erdegaard and Saka, and then you have Martinelli making runs in behind, being very direct as well. So this is as our starting formation, I guess, a 4-3-3 false 9. But then when we have the ball in build up, it normally shifts to a 3-2-5. This 3-2 build up is very, very prominent in Arteta's setup, where you have striker pushing up, left wing and right wingers holding the width with Saka and Martinelli, Rice in this half space here, Erdegaard in this half space here, Havertz he doesn't even play centrally, he comes more leaning towards his right hand side, which then gives you the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have Thomas Partey alongside Zinchenko who inverts, with Gabriel as the left centre back, Saliba down the middle, and then Ben White on the right hand side as well. But he's not afraid to he's not afraid to overlap on this side. Saka sometimes comes in this way, Erdegaard peels off to the wing, and then Ben White makes those underlapping runs. Sometimes even when these three are in this side of this box here, he makes those overlapping runs, almost causing an overload with these four. We saw that time and time again. I think I talked about it in our Brighton video match reaction that I did last season where we played against them away from home. And the combination with Saka, Havertz and Erdegaard and White, the 4 players on that right hand side, causing a problem against Brighton's left hand side. Really, really positive. But my worry is that we're very, very one-sided. We don't have that same structure and fluidity on the left. For example, if Rice comes in here, Zinchenko would be the support player here, and then Martinelli would make the runs in behind. But we're struggling to see that fluidity down the left-hand side. And I think if teams start clocking on to that, I think they might have a plan of stopping us. Maybe just shifting all the defenders over to the left-hand side, just maybe sacrificing that right-hand side just a little bit, just so they can defend this right-hand side. But then all it takes is just one switch for Martinelli to get in behind and score as well. So we normally build up in a 3-2-5 like this. Havertz in the middle, Saka down the right, Martinelli on the left, Rice occupying this left-hand side half space, Erdegaard occupying this right-hand side half space with Zinchenko and Partey, but then that might be Zinchenko and Merino receiving it from this number 6 and then pushing up into the midfield, coming in, linking up with Ødegaard, and then Havertz as well. Rice making a forward runs in here. He's a good ball carrier as well. So we're adding a bit of versatility and a bit of more dynamism in our midfield, where they're all they all have different qualities. So drop a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more content if you want to see more. I'll see you next time. Take care.